All right, let's talk about something that's on every business owner's mind: navigating a shaky economy. It can feel pretty stressful, right? But what if I told you that these moments are actually a huge opportunity? The smartest companies out there, they use these times to get stronger, to build a foundation that'll last. So let's dig into how they actually do it.
You've probably seen it happen. When things get tough, some businesses just seem to fold, while others, they somehow manage to navigate the storm and come out even stronger. So what's the difference? What separates them? Well, it almost always boils down to one simple word: agility.
Okay, so before we talk about the solution, we really have to understand the problem. And for businesses that are still doing everything manually, an economic downturn sets a particularly nasty trap.
Here's where things get really dangerous. When you rely on manual operations, a lot of your costs, like salaries for those repetitive day-to-day tasks, are fixed. They don't go down just because your revenue does, and that's the cash flow squeeze. But with automated systems, your costs can be more flexible. Performance keeps going 24/7, and you can pivot on a dime instead of being stuck in place.
And this brings us to the hero of our story today. You know, if that economic squeeze is the villain, then automation, well, that's the essential survival tool that lets businesses actually fight back. Now, let's be super clear about what we mean by automation here. This isn't about some sci-fi movie with robots taking over. Nope. It's about technology that gives you agility. That's the key word. It's the power to change direction, to get a tight grip on your costs, and to get more done without just having to hire more and more people. So how exactly does this agility make a business stronger? Well, it creates something you can think of as a financial stability flywheel, a set of benefits that all reinforce each other, keeping the whole company steady even in rough seas.
And this flywheel, it's built on 4 key pillars. First, your costs become predictable. A system doesn't need overtime pay, right? Second, you get pinpoint accuracy on your cash flow in real time. No more flying blind. Your accounting software is always up to date. Third, you can make decisions way faster because you have instant data, not just a gut feeling. And finally, you slash waste because you're tracking every single resource with absolute precision.
Now, all of this sounds pretty good in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a quick case study to see this stuff in action.
So, picture this: a small to medium-sized trading company down in Johor. They were getting hit, just like a lot of businesses, with slowing demand. Sales were dropping, the pressure was building, and they were stuck right in the middle of that cash flow squeeze we were just talking about. So what did they do? They automated their purchasing and their stock alerts. So instead of guessing or just ordering way too much stuff, they bought exactly what they needed when they needed it based on real-time data. And the result? A 22% reduction in their inventory costs. Now, for a small business in a downturn, freeing up that much cash, that is a lifeline.
That 22% is a huge number. And it probably brings up the one big question I bet a lot of you are thinking right now. This sounds great, but is it actually realistic for my business when money's already tight? That is a totally fair question. So let's tackle the biggest worries one by one.
The biggest myth is always about the cost. But look, modern automation isn't about buying some giant server and hiring a whole IT team. We're talking about cloud-based tools where you just pay for what you use. Think about software that automates your invoices for less than the cost of a few coffees a month. You can start really small, solve one specific problem, and then you only scale up when you see that it's working. It's way more accessible than you think.
The next big fear is always about jobs. But the goal here isn't to replace people, it's to empower them. Automation is amazing at handling all those repetitive, soul-crushing tasks that drain your team's energy. Imagine freeing up your best people from hours of manual data entry so they can actually analyze that data and find new ways to grow. You're not replacing them, you're unlocking their true potential. You're letting a small team do amazing things.
And here's the bottom line. Automation isn't some magic wand. It doesn't guarantee you'll survive. No, of course not. But what it does do is give you a massive advantage by making you way more adaptable. And when the economy is all over the place, adaptability, well, that's everything.
And that adaptability isn't just about playing defense. The moves you make when things are tough are really about setting your business up to fly past the competition once the economy turns around.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it just nails the mindset. The best time to do this isn't when everything's great. It's when things are chaotic, when you need that control and clarity more than ever.
Because think about it. All those systems you put in place just to survive, the real-time reports, the perfect inventory tracking, the efficient workflows, they don't just vanish when the market improves.
They become the data backbone that lets you spot opportunities and grow faster than anyone else when the rebound happens.
So, this all leaves us with one final, critical question you should ask yourself. When you really look at your own business, is it built to weather a storm, or is it only built for sunny days? The answer to that could be the difference between just surviving the next downturn and coming out of it ready to thrive.
Odoo easy.